Hello stock traders, I hope all of you had a fantastic trading week. In this video, I am going to give you a fresh top 7 stock list to help you to be successful in the coming weeks. These are mid to long-term picks, so all of these are stocks that you can hold throughout the week, and you should be in good shape. All have great catalysts either upcoming or have had catalysts behind them that should propel them upwards, at least in the short term over the next week's time. So we are at a brand new month, and here we go. In July, had a fantastic June, but really looking forward to July and a lot of the different picks and different things that are going on. The market seems to be really hot, and I'm going to talk a lot about that here in a little bit. I'm going to spend a little segment and just kind of go through the market and the overall market and how I think it is doing. And just understand that everything in this channel is just my opinions. I am not a financial advisor. Of course, you need to do your own due diligence, but I am a stock trader that has had a ton of success, and I have success by following strategies. And if you currently don't follow any strategy other than I like this stock, I'm going to buy it, then you might want to think about changing that. I work very hard at my different stock strategies, and if you are looking for help, we have a Patreon group, and a group, at least you can see the different strategies that I run, and you are not following me, you are following a stock trading strategy, and so that's a big part of the room. In our basic room, we cover our insider swing play and our PDUFA run-up plays and phase data plays. In our standard rooms, there are professional traders in there like Captain Penny. I cover a lot of short squeeze plays, lots of mid to long-term plays by my buddy John, and then also we have R2K Shot Caller that does a lot of different stuff with options and day trading of options. And in our premium room, you get lots of long-term picks. Anyway, it's a great group. We're right at the beginning of the month. This is a good time to jump in. We hope to see you there. And before I get going into this video, if you could do me a favor and please hit that most amazing and wonderful like button. Also, if you like the content of this channel, consider subscribing and turning on those bell notifications so you get notified when one of these videos comes out. Also, please feel free to reach out to me in the comment section. 2 heads are better than 1. I would sure love to hear from you, and I will give you my opinion only on a stock, and hopefully we can help each other to be successful. A lot of times, sometimes I come up with some great stock picks that have solid strategies behind them through the comment section, so I really appreciate you reaching out down below. All right, so I like to do the week review. These are all the stocks that were sold as part of the different strategies that are covered in our different groups. So here we go. We start with the insider swing play. Sold GEO for a 20.43% gain. That one was in our list, in top 7 list from last week. I decided to move out of it for a few different reasons. It had hit the exit point. Also, we have GLP sold for a 5.2% loss. Sold PFSI for a 4.32% loss. And TRVN for an 11.44% loss. Sold SAFE, SAFE for a 10.3% gain, and sold GBS for a 2.57% loss. So 2 out of 6. Much worse than normal. Typically, we do about a 70% win rate on this. This is how this is performed. Over the last 5 years, it has performed at a 70% win rate with an average gain per pick. This week was a 33% win rate with an average gain per pick of 0.36%. So very small. And also that Geo pick, it's kind of, it's an insider pick. It had insider activity, but it was a squeeze play first. And so it was hard for me to know which one to put it in. So I put it in both strategies this week. All right, we have our PDUFA strategy. We only had 1 stock that we sold as part of that strategy, and that is CCXI, sold for a 35.10% gain. Congratulations to all who followed that play. It was a very good play as we ran up to the PDUFA date, but it has gotten too close. Time to sell. Anyway, that's 1 out of 100% win rate on that strategy for a 35.10% gain. There's not too many trades that happen on the PDUFA strategy. It is a mid to long-term strategy. It is a very effective strategy with a high win rate and a very high average gain per pick. So We have some of those in the top 7 list, so you can get in on those, and some of those are really good. Okay, so let's cover the squeeze play. This is covered in our standard room. Here we go. We have GEO sold for a 20.43% gain. We have UAVS sold for a 2.01% gain. RMO sold for a 10.14% loss. XL sold for a 13.57% loss. GTT, which got delisted on Friday. Very unfortunate. I am so glad that I sold it. I feel bad for those that are in it. There was no way to know that that was going to happen. Very frustrating, but it is going to an OTC. It is not game over by any means. This will take a couple days and it'll move to an OTC, and it should retain its price. There'll be lots of people closing short positions because they have to, because it went to a different brokerage, and they'll have to reshort it from that point. So it should wash out in the end. At least that's what I'm hoping for you holders on that. But anyway, sold GTT for an 11.02% gain. Sold CCIV for a 20.97% gain. And HRTX for a 9.81% gain. So that was 5 out of 7, 71% win rate, which is much higher than normal. And an average gain per pick of 5.75%, which is actually lower than normal. Okay, so yeah, it was an interesting week. Lots of ups and downs, lots of craziness, lots of fighting back and forth between bulls and bears, lots of low volume melting up and some different things. Let's take a look at the state of the market. Here we go. And this is the S&P 500. And as you can see here, we have completed Wave 5, at least I think we have, and we've had the shortest correction in history. And we may be in Wave 1. We have a new all-time high. Time will tell as this gets going. We do have some gaps that need filled down here, which is 425. Another one at 413 or 411, excuse me, and another one right at 400. And so those gaps don't have to fill anytime soon. We could be looking at filling those in the next market correction. It doesn't look like that's happening right now. The market is very, very bullish, and we have a nice crossover that has happened here on the SPY and is very, very strong. Price action definitely moving upwards, but not out of control. This hasn't blown its top by any means yet. There's a lot further that it can go. I think it can hit all the way up to as possibly as high as 450. That would be blowing its top for sure. And then we would look at a correction right after that. It would go sharply into wave 2 after that point, in my opinion, and we would have a quick pullback on that. So it's interesting to watch. We shall see what we get this next week. Overall, looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go to the triple Qs. All right, we got the triple Qs are looking extremely strong, but now getting kind of overbought. So the NASDAQ really isn't really a really good deal for investors. I think there's some overevaluation kind of happening here. We could see a pullback definitely from its levels, but it could blow its top again. That is something that could happen in the future. That is something to look for if we start to get these crazy levels. You will want to sell out, because as we get higher and higher, it becomes riskier and riskier that we will have a sharp pullback. All right, now let's take a look at the VIX and see how the fear indicator is doing. The lower the VIX is, the better it is for the market. And you can see down here it's coming way down. This is very bullish for the stock market, and so this is looking really good. $15. Anything over 20, we need to start worrying about that. Need to start worrying about volatility and all those kind of things. Market's looking bullish, so what do you say? All right, so let's get to the top 7. Before I do, I did want to talk about Webull. I use it each and every day, and right now we have a link in the description down below where you can get some free stocks. And the first one, number 7 on the list, is VRCA. This is Verica Pharmaceuticals, and this is the daily chart of Verica Pharmaceuticals. As you can see here, we are starting to recover pretty nicely. Now, they had a PDUFA date that was earlier on June 23rd, and it got delayed by 3 months. And so we had a sharp pullback, as you can see here, but it is now starting to recover pretty nicely. We're starting to see some nice price movement here, and I think this is going to make its run soon. I wanted to put this on this list. We've had this a very long time, and the reason why I like it so much is because there's been multiple insider buys by officers as we've gotten closer. A lot of those happened in May and early June, and then we got the delay. But those insiders haven't sold. they're in there, and I think we'll see even more insider buying as we get closer to September 23rd. This should be a really nice run up, and it's a really great value, and so I think this one could run heavily. Analysts have an average target price of $19.86. My average in it's $13.63. Since calling this out, I am down 15.26%, which is not fun. But I do believe in this stock, and I think it's going to turn around. This is kind of a longer-term PDUFA run-up. So if you're getting in it now, you're doing much better than me, and you have a really good chance of making a great profit on this as it runs up to its PDUFA date. All right, the next, number 6, is another PDUFA stock, and this has really been moving. This is Sesen Bio. They have a PDUFA date of August 18th. And my average in it's $4.66 since calling this out is down 8.23%. So this, I kind of got caught up here. As you can see, I paid kind of a higher price for it at $4.66, and now it's pulled back all the way to $4.25. I'm not worried at all. They have a bladder cancer drug that's upcoming, and I think this is going to move really well. I made a mistake in one of my earlier videos. I made a pretty bad mistake on this, and I messed this one up with another stock. But this stock is going to do very, very well. This is a PDUFA run-up date, should do great. So if you haven't gotten it yet, this is a great time to get in. All right, number 5 is brand new to the list. This is going to be a fantastic pick. In my opinion, this is Bitfarms, ticker symbol BITF, and this is part of our golden strategy that is covered in our premium room of our Discord. And so I'm sharing this one here. I think this one's going to move really, really well. Analysts have an average target price of $6.49. My average in is $3.93. Called it out to all of our members, and it is up 3.28% since calling it out in our premium room. And this particular stock is really going to benefit from the crackdown that China made on Bitcoin mining. And so this is one that's really, I think, going to do really well. It has just started to cross over and looking very, very strong. We have some powerful after hours movement going on this, and with Bitcoin doing well over the holiday weekend, I think that this one will continue to move up. And also institutions are loading up on this stock right now, and they've been loading up the last couple of days, and so that is there's starting more of this being reported, and so this should be really huge, and I think this could really, really move nicely. All right, number 4 is going to be very explosive. It was on the list from last week. This is Casavia Sciences, and I've been talking about this one, and this is a phase data run-up play, and they have phase data that is due on July 26th, so that's coming up at the end of this month. My average in it is $81.39. Since calling this out, it is up 10.64%. Hopefully you saw that video that I did earlier and talked about Casavia Sciences, and I think this is going to be a powerful run, and it's not even close to where it's going to go, and so this should be a really nice mover for us. So anytime they presented Alzheimer data, it has been positive, and it has really, really moved the stock in a positive direction. We just had a MACD golden cross down here again. This has been a really nice run, and it dipped a little bit but then came right back up, looking pretty fantastic. I know it's a little bit overbought. Some might say it's way overbought, blah blah blah, there's not much room for it to go. I disagree. This thing has run in the past all the way up to around $150, and I think it could do so again. So this should be huge, and the run up should be really nice. You're not too late. There's still time to get in. I think that this one could easily run with good data. We could see maybe 200. That would be pretty fantastic, and I think it's a possibility. I really do. All right, number 3. This has been an insider swing play that has been fantastic, and it continues to be fantastic. It was lower on the list last week, but I have moved it up because, man, is it still going. And so this was on last week's list. It's on this week's list. My average in it's $4.45. Since calling this out, it is up 14.16%. Hopefully all of you got in on this when I suggested it before. And see, that's the whole point of watching these videos. So massive insider buys continue. More and more and more insider activity. Bam, more and more every couple of days. More. And I know so many people, and even in my group, have dropped this stock. You know, it was up like 3%, and they're like, I'm out. And yeah, I don't think this is anywhere close to where it's going to go because the insider activity keeps happening. So the key is when insider activity is repeating like this, you hold. and you just hold out. You wait for everyone to panic to go on in. You wait until it's been so many days since insider activity before you sell out. And that's how you get a big gain with insider activity. Anyway, this one's looking really great. It still has so much more to go. I think this is going to be a powerful move, especially as that insider activity continues. And with the price of oil and gas moving upwards, unfortunately, I think that this stock will continue its march upwards. Okay, number 2 was number 2 on last week's list. So this one hasn't moved at all. This is Alberio. I think that's how you say it. Alberio Pharma. So this is a PDUFA run up, and since calling this out is up 3.29%. My average, and it's $33.73. They have a PDUFA date of July 20th, so coming up here in a few weeks. And this should be a solid run, a solid PDUFA run. Why? Because analysts have an average target price of $73.43. The drug that's up for approval is it's important, it's significant. Now, PDUFA run up strategy is not hold through the FDA decision date and get pummeled. That is not the strategy. The strategy is to play the run-up. You are in it until it is overbought. And when it is overbought, you sell out on the daily chart typically. And this did hit overbought for just a moment and has pulled back, but I just got in it. I wanted to hold a little bit longer to get a little bit closer to the date. So as this continues to move up, if we get overbought again and it gets over 70 again, then I'll probably sell out early on this. Now, if it never gets to that point, typically about 2 days, 1 day beforehand, I will sell out my shares, usually for a profit. That's how the PDUFA run-up play is. You don't care if it gets approved or not. That's the whole thing. I really talk to investors all the time who hold these decision dates through decision, and the stock will get approved and they'll still drop in price. And they're like, why did this happen, Ray? And I say, why did you hold? This isn't the strategy. That's not the strategy. It's called a PDUFA run-up strategy. It is not a PDUFA hold and hope strategy. You are running up to the date. You don't care if it gets approved or not. All right, number 1 is CLOV. This was number 1 last week. I know it hasn't gone anywhere. My average is $13.95 since calling this out. I'm down 16.06%. Am I worried? I think there's too much pressure on everyone that's short on this stock. Way too much pressure. 36.93% short percentage. That's very, very high. And so that has created a really high short borrow fee. So if someone wants to borrow shares, they have to pay an interest rate of 49.48% on those shares before they go back to their broker, because shares are that hard to find to short. It's about to get a lot worse. And the whole thing is 25,000 put option contracts finished in the money on Friday. If you've ever had a put option expire in the money, I have. And it was on expensive stock. I think it was on Biogen. And I had put options. They expired in the money. I made really great money on it. But what started to happen on Monday morning that caused me to freak out is the stock price really moved up in pre-market. And so there was a lot of pressure on me. It's like, oh man, my profits are really going away. But see, what happened is the broker took my 100, my call option and gave me 100 shares short. I only had one at that time. This was a while back. Anyway, as the pressure mounted and the price went up in pre-market, I had to cover because I was going to lose the profits that I had. This put even more pressure on it. So if you think about it, there's 25,000 put option contracts that expired. This could really cause a panic, especially if this is up in pre-market. It was up in aftermarket on Friday, and so this could really, really be the big time. So this could be it on Tuesday morning. This could be the time when it really, really takes off and squeezes well beyond $28.85. So before it was a real worry, because we created this gigantic gap here and gaps get filled. Well, now it's been filled. So now the gap's been filled, and we bounced off of this 1140 area a couple of times. I'm looking for a real high bounce, and I know with all those expiring put options in the money that this could create a massive squeeze, especially if we are up in pre-market. This will put a lot of pressure on short sellers, and it should be really good. Anyway, I'm going to hold this stock. I believe in it, and I do think that it's I don't think the Hindenburg report holds any water, and I feel confident that this is going to be a significant squeeze in the very near future. Hang in there with me. Well, I wish all of you the best on the stock market. Please be careful how you trade. Please have a strategy with each and every pick that you decide to go with. So don't buy any stock if you don't have a strategy behind it. Also, please remember to do some good with those profits. Help those in your community with those profits that you make. It will change your focus and make you a better trader. It will not make it all about you, but it will make it about benefiting others, and it feels good to benefit others. Anyway, let's have a great week. Raythoven out.